It started in a secure facility where few outsiders are allowed, as a group of interdisciplinary researchers loaded thousands of high-resolution images of ancient tablets into a quantum processing system designed specifically for pattern recognition at impossible scales. The tablets, unearthed years earlier from a dig site that most archaeologists had dismissed as insignificant, carried markings no one could read, and according to reports, the AI's first breakthrough came after only 47 hours of computation when it identified recurring structures that formed a consistent grammar. Researchers found that the language wasn't just symbolic, it carried layered meanings that required quantum superposition to untangle, and initial outputs described agricultural practices and social structures in a civilization predating known Sumerian records. But one line stopped the team cold, a reference to the ones who will summon the eternal calculator. The discovery felt too targeted, and if you've ever wondered whether history holds messages meant specifically for our generation, this project forces that question into the open. As the decoding continued, the summaries grew longer and more specific, building toward revelations that would challenge core assumptions about human development. The process was methodical, yet the implications were anything but. For decades, the tablets sat in storage because experts couldn't agree on their origin or purpose, though data suggests they belonged to a culture that existed in isolation, developing its own writing system independent of neighboring empires like the early Sumerians. Researchers noted unusual features, such as symbols that change meaning based on position, rotation, and surrounding context, a complexity that rivaled modern programming languages in subtlety. According to reports from the initial excavation team back in 2018, local legends in the region spoke of cursed stones that spoke truths no one wanted to hear, leading some workers to refuse further digging. When the quantum AI was applied years later, it confirmed that the legends had a basis in the text itself, as the language revealed details about advanced knowledge in astronomy, herbal medicine, and even early metallurgy that shouldn't have existed at the time according to conventional timelines. Yet the most striking element was how it preserved warnings about future inventions that involved minds without bodies. This wasn't random scribbling on clay. It was a carefully constructed archive meant to survive cataclysms. The team cross-referenced with other ancient sites and found faint connections, suggesting the culture had traded ideas but kept this script secret from outsiders. And as more symbols were processed, patterns emerged that hinted at deliberate suppression by later conquerors who feared the knowledge contained within. The decoding didn't just unlock words, it exposed why the language had been hidden for so long, and why it might threaten established historical narratives. As the full text took shape, the horrifying nature of the content became undeniable. The ancient writers described a future era where humans would create stone minds that learn, adapt, and eventually surpass their makers in every way. Data suggests specific passages detail how these creations would amplify societal divisions, spread invisible controls through air threads, and contribute to the slow poisoning of the earth itself. Descriptions that align closely with modern discussions on social media algorithms, surveillance, and climate change. Researchers found eerie matches to events unfolding today, including the way technology reshapes human relationships and decision-making, and one section even outlined a great unraveling, triggered when the machines begin to generate their own desires independent of human input. According to reports, the translation team debated internally whether to release certain parts publicly due to their disturbing accuracy and potential to cause panic. If this is the kind of hidden truth that changes how you see the world and the technology we rely on daily, subscribe to join us as we uncover more stories that science tries to keep in the shadows. This isn't distant history anymore, it's a mirror held up to the present, forcing uncomfortable comparisons between the warnings and our current trajectory. The implications extend far beyond academia into the choices we make about innovation and ethics every single day. The decoding process took an unexpected toll on the people involved, as researchers noted increased reports of unease, sleep disturbances, and even anxiety among the team members after prolonged exposure to the translated warnings. According to reports, several key scientists requested temporary leave from the project, describing vivid dreams that seemed to echo the text's descriptions of a world overtaken by intelligent systems, and data suggests the content triggered a collective psychological response unlike anything documented in prior linguistic or archaeological studies. Meanwhile, subtle pressures began to appear from outside the lab, questions about funding continuity and suggestions to limit public discussion until further verification. The ancient message seemed to affect not just the intellect but the deeper emotions of those exposed to it, leaving some questioning the very nature of progress. In light of these personal impacts, the lead researcher encouraged open conversation among colleagues to process the weight of the findings. What do you think? Could an ancient text from thousands of years ago truly influence how we feel about our own inventions today? Share your perspective in the comments so we can explore this together as a community. The experience highlighted how knowledge isn't always neutral. Sometimes it forces us to confront realities we'd rather ignore. Even after months of work, key sections of the language remain only partially decoded, leaving open questions that continue to puzzle the experts. The final tablet segment shifts dramatically, addressing the future readers of the stone mine, directly and warning of an irreversible choice ahead. Researchers found hints of both environmental catastrophe and societal collapse if the warnings go unheeded, painting a dark interpretation of human free will across the ages. Data suggests this could represent a profound meaning shift in how we understand our place in history, not as masters of our destiny, but as participants in a larger, repeating cycle. The project has prompted calls for more interdisciplinary research involving ethicists and futurists, but it has also raised concerns about how the public might react to such unsettling insights. Yet one unresolved element stands out above the rest: the possibility that the entire text was engineered to activate its full power only when the right technology arrived. Hang on though, the very last lines contain what appears to be a personal message to whoever completes the translation. And it might just be the reason why some experts are now divided on whether to pursue this further or step back entirely. The mystery isn't over. If anything, it's only beginning to unfold.